So what we're doing here is we're trying to see how we can increase the success for seeding with Willamette daisy. So each one of these plots has a separate treatment on it. We've got some plots that we use herbicide, we have plots that we burned, we have plots that are going to get mowed, and we have just control plots that we just left as they were. And the goal here is to kind of see which mixture of treatments creates the most success for getting those Willamette daisies to live and thrive and do well. Because that is a species that's been here for a long, long time. In the past couple of years, it's really taken a nosedive. And we're still trying to figure out why. It could be related to the climate, it could be related to the soil chemistry changing, it could be the invasive species are getting worse. So we're trying to figure out what we can do to try and increase those numbers again and kind of turn that around to get better. Do you have a hand raised there?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Is there a place online that you can find the results of the research?
Yeah, so the Institute for Applied Ecology, on their website, once the reports are all done, they post all their data and reports on there.
The Institute of what?
Applied Ecology?
Is that like within the BLM?
No, they're a separate nonprofit that's based out of Corvallis that we partner with a lot out here. They have a lot of local experts. Their founder is Tom Kay, who's a PhD out of OSU. I think he's like an adjunct professor there or something. He's related to the university somehow. And yeah, they just have a lot of that experience, like the data analysis and like the more specific testing and protocol. And so they end up doing a lot of that for us. Yeah?
Why are the many flags there?
Yeah, so the flags markate the specific plots.
Oh,
so those are the areas that the different treatments happen. So the colors don't mean a whole lot, but they just kind of mark the corners of the plot. And with each one of those, they got maybe burned or herbicide sprayed that burned or mowed or weed whacked or something like that. We were hoping to have this entire section here be burned this year. But because of the challenge we talked about earlier, we're not able to make that happen. So in lieu of burning it, a couple of months ago, we came out with propane torches and hand burned all these different plots out here. So we're walking around with these torches, burning a 2 meter by 2 meter section. And it could take 20 minutes to burn, that specific area. So it's definitely more labor intensive in the short term. We got the entire field burned. But yeah, the Institute is like one of definitely our key partners here. They are the driving force behind a lot of the research that happens, behind a lot of the science that's happening out here. They inform a lot of our management decisions for what we're doing out here. And the Institute for Applied Ecology. Yeah, any more questions about the study or the flags or anything? We don't. That's owned by the city. That brings up a good point. The entire land out here, like Rick mentioned, there's 3,000 acres of wetland habitat. The BLM owns about 1,300 of them. And so that other piece is broken up between the Nature Conservancy has a good chunk of it, the City of Eugene, the Army Corps of Engineers. There's also the private landholders who own them that, maybe they're developing or they're just sitting on it. Who knows what their plan is. We try and work with our adjacent neighbors to the extent that we can to kind of cut down on invasive species. Like in some of our sites, we have, terrible invasives right next door. And we can't really do a whole lot about it. We can talk to the neighbors, encourage them to try and treat them themselves. The Fish and Wildlife Service has the capabilities to go on their land and actually treat things for them. I can't remember what that program is called, but options are out there for folks, who have these noxious weeds in their yards that they want to get rid of, definitely. Any other questions about the study or Institute for Applied Ecology or Willamette daisy?
Will we get to see Willamette daisy or is a little bit of it up? Or?
It's not really up yet. Yeah. Unfortunately, if there's anything, it would just be like, an inch or two of
the rosette or something.
Yeah.
So,
but I would come back in, May or probably June. It'd be a good time to come and take a look at it.
Are you actually seeding or planting it, or just monitoring existing?
We're seeding it here. So after we do those treatments to kind of clear the ground, we're gonna go through and seed it.
Where are you getting the seeds from?
So we work with a couple different seed partnerships. The Willamette Valley Native Seed Network or something like that. Native Plant Partnership, I think. They produce a lot of seed. Institute of Applied Ecology produces a lot of seed. In addition to doing research, they have a huge farm up near Corvallis that they have a bunch of these native species, and they, gather seed from the wild, either through the Seed Success Program or they get out themselves and gather the seed. they'll plant these huge raised beds, and then they go through and harvest the seed when it
I just
goes.
know people are interested in really local
Yeah,
seed source, so I
definitely.
wondered if you're collecting seed here that you're
We do. Yeah, we
growing
collect seed
out.
at this site.
So-
The valley's kind of broken into different areas, and you want to try and source seed within like a certain range of where you're at. It's kind of a mix between wanting to get local seed versus trying to preserve some genetic diversity, because you don't want everything to get inbred and